Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right. What'd she say?
She pointed out something a lot of us have probably wondered. Has The View calmed down lately? Turns out, not at all. They're still cranking out the same loud, over-the-top commentary, complete with their usual blend of woke hot takes. But this time, things didn't go according to their plan. Enter Bill Maher and Karoline Leavitt, an unexpected duo who stepped in with sharp words and clear thinking. So what exactly did the hosts of The View say this time? And how did Maher and Leavitt respond with wit and truth? Don't worry. We've got all the best moments. Buckle up. This one's going to be wild.
To get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
So why is Bill Maher suddenly speaking out about the need to tone down political hostility? It might have something to do with how the hosts of The View reacted to his recent political evolution. What really lit the fuse? A dinner Maher had with former President Trump. That alone triggered a strong reaction from Whoopi Goldberg, who was outraged enough to rant on air without even mentioning Trump's name. It was clear she saw the dinner as more than just a meal. It was, in her view, a crossing of enemy lines.
And take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
he rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just
But can I mention one thing?
Whoopi's reaction didn't stop at frustration. It turned into a full-on character critique of Bill Maher. She couldn't believe he'd share a table with someone she spent years criticizing. For Whoopi and her co-hosts, this wasn't just about politics. It was a perceived betrayal. And in their eyes, no amount of jokes, honesty, or nuance could excuse it. They didn't just disagree. They seemed to see it as an unforgivable act.
Yeah, you be so flippant, man. Listen, nobody on the planet really wants to go through this. This is not something we're doing because it's, really gratifying. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody.
But if you know anything about Bill Maher, you know he's not one to sit quietly while being dragged. On a recent episode of Real Time, he addressed the uproar head-on. With his usual mix of dry humor and hard-hitting commentary, Maher called out the outrage for what it was, overblown and unnecessary. He reminded everyone that he doesn't need approval from TV hosts or political tribes to have dinner with anyone. It was classic Maher, bold, direct, and completely unapologetic.
12 days ago I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every...
Before getting into his more pointed remarks, Maher made something very clear. This is still America, and part of that means we can disagree without hating each other. He stressed that political differences shouldn't lead to personal attacks or outrage. Civil conversation used to be the norm, and it should be again. But for The View, that kind of thinking seems outdated. Maher wasn't just defending his dinner. He was defending the idea that we can hold opposing views without tearing each other down. Sounds fair, right? Not to Whoopi, who took his comments as a personal dig.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a
This is why many people respect Bill Maher, because he doesn't just talk about free speech, he lives it. Even as Whoopi publicly criticized him on national television, Maher didn't back down. He stayed true to his values. In an era where many fold under pressure, his consistency stands out. While some even called for Whoopi to step away from the show after her outburst, Maher didn't play the victim. He stood firm, and still managed to make a few pointed remarks of his own on the way out.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid on a regular basis. It just happened to coincide.
Did Bill Maher really just compare himself to a lion and Whoopi Goldberg to a hunter? Yep, he went there. Whether you agree with him or not, the man knows how to paint a picture. In this case, he flipped the typical narrative. Whoopi came in like a crusader, hoping to corner him for his actions. But instead of running, Maher turned the tables with sharp comebacks and biting humor. In the end, it wasn't Maher who seemed rattled, it was the hosts who looked caught off guard. And just as Maher was winding down, Karoline Leavitt stepped up to the plate.
Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Karoline Leavitt didn't hold back. She argued that modern wokeness has done more harm than good, turning important social issues into political weapons. What used to be framed as empathy has, in her view, become a vehicle for division, censorship, and obsessive identity politics. She pointed out how newsrooms have stopped focusing on facts, universities push agendas over education, and even healthcare is being influenced by ideology. This wasn't just about a dinner or a debate. It was, she argued, about a deeper cultural problem that's being overlooked.
Now, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS.
Leavitt delivered a strong critique of The View's panel, calling out what she sees as years of biased commentary masked as feel-good talk. She pointed to how they enthusiastically supported political figures like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even when there were clear signs of concern about leadership and communication. In her view, the show often prioritizes image over substance. But Leavitt came prepared. Calm, focused, and clear, she challenged their talking points directly. And when Whoopi tried to respond with her usual intensity, Leavitt didn't flinch. She responded with confidence and clarity.
And the irony in all of this is that Joe Biden and the Democrats and these ladies on The View constantly say President Trump is the alleged threat to democracy, when in fact they themselves are wishfully thinking that President Trump will be imprisoned when he has not been convicted of any crimes. That is the real threat to democracy. Voters see that, and that's why President Trump continues his dominance.
Leavitt called out the contradiction of someone promoting tolerance while reacting so strongly to a dinner with a former president. She made it clear that real leadership isn't about popularity. It's about holding firm to your values. This wasn't just a viral soundbite. It was a moment of clarity. Her remarks peeled back the layers of performative outrage and challenged the idea that disagreement equals disloyalty. In the end, Maher and Leavitt made a powerful case for civil discourse, exposing how media outrage can sometimes be more about control than conversation. And that might just be the turning point more people needed to see. If you're into honest, no-nonsense commentary, hit that like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.